Okay, now we focus on the example of the court cases regarding to a contract to commit a crime. Okay, previously I already give you the example on the scenario where you have been appointed to carry out something that is not allowed by the law. So this is one of the example highlighted in case Beresford versus Royal Insurance. Okay, in this case, B insured his life for 50,000. Okay, where this is the amount that has been paid on his death. Okay, so in this case, um, consider the death by suicide. But some years after taking out the policy, so in this scenario, actually, in fact, after he taking the policy, B shot himself in the taxi cab. Basically, if one of the party insured himself or herself from insurance, the party who was still alive is able to claim for the insurance, maybe the wife, the family, the kids, the son, and so on. Okay, but in this case, after his death, after he's taking the policy, he actually shot himself in the taxi cab, intending that the insurance money should be used to pay off his heavy debt. Okay, but in this case, it was held in different way. It was held that this personal representative could not recover from the insurance company the 50,000 that he has insured before. Okay, because this is actually the contrary with the public policy at this particular country that the public policy in that country mentioned that it is not allowed to benefit the people that commit a crime. For example, in this case, the action done by B is actually considered as a criminal because it is contrary. That means it is not allowed by the public policy, or it is not allowed by the law. Okay, so in this case, the plaintiff is not able to claim the insurance monetary compensation because of this issue that had been highlighted by the judge. Okay, now number two, you can see here a contract to commit a crime by Foster versus Driscoll. A partnership agreement was entered into the England for the purpose of smuggling whiskey into the into the US at the time when the American prohibition laws were in force. Okay, this is an agreement on this is the agreement that was begun in England. So therefore, the agreements for this particular issue is considered as illegal. This is supposed to be the agreement to perform in a foreign and the friendly country that is considered and the friendly country that is considered as unlawful because the country itself is considered as illegal and it is also void as the public policy. Okay, illegal for that particular company. So that is actually not allowed. Okay, so at the end, when it is not allowed, the implication is the contract will be void. Okay, next one, the contract tending to sexual immorality. For example, the prostitution that is contrary to the good morals. You can see another example that I highlighted before, the gambling. Okay, in this case, Pierce versus Brooke, a prostitute brought a carriage on hire purchase term from a firm of coach builder. So in this case, it was known that she is actually intended to use the carriage for the purpose of attracting the men customers. Okay, in the factual hearing, that is the argument given. The woman failed to keep up her contractual payment for the carriage, and then the coach builders sue for the arrears. The arrears means the balance of the money that is supposed to be paid, but it is not being paid yet. So in this case, it was held that the plaintiff knew the purpose for which the carriage was to be used, and therefore the contract was void. Because it originally he know that this woman is actually, or this lady is actually would like to do this to attract the man, and then the person that he make a contract actually had been informed that actually he would like to attract the people, but then at the end she is not be able to pay. So in order for the coach builder to get back the money, he sued the women. But then in the argument at the end, the court mentioned that because you know that the purpose for the women or the lady to purchase this carriage is not allowed. It is forbidden. Therefore, you are not be able to consider that this is a valid contract. So the contract is void, right? And then next one, we focus on the contract affecting the freedom of the marriage. In general, basically, a contract affecting the freedom marriage is only applicable when it affects the people who are in majority of the age. If you are in the minority of the age, that is considered as you are not having the capacity to form a valid contract. So basically, this is referring to a contract in absolute restraint of the marriage. Okay, and then English common law also have highlighted. You can also refer to the previous court cases in some of the journal, mentioned that partial restraint also considered as illegal. Okay, for example, here restrain a person from marrying at all, that is totally refrain the person from get married, is considered as void. Okay, number two, partial restraint. That means maybe, okay, you are not allowed to marry the people from Kelantan, let's say. You are not be able to marry people from foreigner. So that is considered as partial restraint. That is considered as not reasonable, and it is contrary with the law that is available. This does not include introduction agency, but introduction agency is something else. It is only where the contract include marriage as a term. Okay, look at this example. Contract for the reward to introduce men and women with a view to subsequent marriage are void. Okay, so but this scenario is not including the agency because the agency has the permission or obligation to carry out certain activity that is allowed by the law, but not to restrain from this particular marriage. Okay, next one, we are referring to the contract of the champerty and maintenance. Okay, look at the maintenance first. It is occurs when one person having no interest in the subject matter of the litigation. Okay, let's say this is considered as A. I put one person as A, encourage another to take civil action against a third party. Okay, encourage another, let's say B, to take legal action against C, for example. For example, by giving financial assistance. This is always happen in the scenario where you would like to, when you put the grudge on someone, okay, you influence them to put the contract, give the money so that you can take legal action for another person. It is a good defense to show that the person assisted has a common interest with the maintaining party. It means maybe there are jealousy issue, there are intention issue between the party, or the maintenance is actuated by the motive of the charity. Okay, look at the champerty. It is similar to the maintenance at sub that the assistant is given on the understanding that the person giving the assistant will share the recovered damages. Okay, in the maintenance, A is giving A, that is one person, is actually giving the financial assistance. But for the champerty, you can see at the end, the purpose of bringing this up, this one for the litigation is to recover the damages. But both offences were abolished by the criminal law, where this one does not affect the contract, contrary to the public policy, except you are able to show that this activity is considered as unlawful. Okay, next one, agreement tending to injure the public service. Okay, this one involving the bribery, corruption, contract to buy harness, they are illegal. This is example between Parkinson versus College of Ambulance. P was induced to give a large sum of money. So in this case, 3,000 pound. In that particular year, that is considered a very high amount of money to a charitable situation where the secretary of which undertook to secure a knighthood for P in the return. Okay, so the knighthood was not granted. In this particular case, where at the end P sued for the return of his money. But it was held at the end of the case that the agreement was illegal. So when it is illegal, it is considered as void and therefore unable to recover the sum of the money that he already paid earlier, the 3,000 pound. Okay, the 3,000 pound that he has paid earlier. Next one, the contract of trading with the enemy. These contracts are considered as illegal at the common law and also considered as it is also considered as illegal by the Trading with the Enemy Act 1939. All such contract made with the person voluntarily residing in enemy territory during the war are illegal. This is always happen when there are conflict or when there are war between the country or between the international relationship. Let's say they are war, so trading with the enemy is considered as illegal, right? Now we look at the next one. This is what I highlighted earlier, contract in restraint of the trade. This is considered as illegal, but there are three exceptions. Number one, exception in terms of the sale of the goodwill. One who sells the goodwill of a business may agree with the buyer to refrain from carry out on the similar business. Where if you are having this particular issue, that means the contract is allow you to do so. Okay, the contract allow you to do so because you are carry out the same business. Let's say I'm having the partnership between me and Abu. Okay, and then the contract between me and Abu that Abu is not be able to open another or to affect any reputation that I have in my partnership company. Okay, so basically in my relationship with Abu, okay, my relationship with Abu, the seller can refrain from carry out the similar business within the specific local limit, but the restraint must be reasonable and also it should be applicable during the period where the buyer carries on the like business. Okay, this is between the one who sell the goodwill of the business with another. Okay, another exception is the agreement between the partners prior to dissolution. This is normally based on the business partnership agreement or business agreement, where some of the partners will not carry out the same type of the business within the local limits or maybe within the exception as what have been mentioned in exception number 1. Okay, it also relevant to the exception number 1. This is supposed to be number 1, yeah. And the last one, agreement between partners during the continuance of the partnership. This is actually state that the partners may agree that someone will not carry out the same type of the business or partnership during the continuance of the partnership. Let's say you have A and B having a contract or partnership relationship. So when A is having partnership with B, B is not allowed to carry out another partnership with another people. Where that contract not to allow B to carry out the partnership with another people is considered as valid because this is part of the exception. Okay, so basically when we talk about all this void contract, at the end you have to look at again what are the implications of the void contract. The contract is not enforceable, it is not considered as binding, it is considered as unlawful. Thus, both party did not have any obligation to carry out did not have any obligation to be performed at the end of the day. So with that, that will be the end of the discussion for the void contract. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.